Hey guys, this is Brittany from Quarter Acre Roots, and today I am coming to you not from my backyard, from my parents' backyard, because we are taking some blueberry bush cuttings. My parents grow some really gorgeous blueberry bushes, and one of them has a super huge variety of berries, so I wanted to take some cuttings from that to propagate so I can grow them in my own yard. It is currently early February in Maryland, Zone 7A, which is a great time for taking hardwood cuttings of blueberry bushes to propagate. So that basically means those woodier cuttings, not like the softer green flimsier growth. We want to be taking a harder, woodier growth from our plant today to propagate, which is going to be pretty easy to do because there really is no softwood growth on this plant right now. Everything is dormant. It is sleeping for the season, getting its chill hours in so that it can produce lots of big, delicious berries in the spring. So we are going to be looking for a cutting to take that is about the width of a pencil and is growth from last year. It's kind of hard to know exactly what growth from last year is, so we are just going to look toward the end of the plant and figure that this is probably the more recent growth. I think this right here is one of the cuttings I'm going to target. So I am going to count down on the growth points or nodes to make sure I have at least like probably 3 or 4 that will be above the soil line. So I'm going to cut this cutting all the way down to right here, right above this growth point. I'm just going to use my shears, take a look here and snip. Okay, I think I'm also gonna take this guy here because it's kind of hard to tell in the camera, but it is sticking out at a wonky angle, so it kind of makes sense to prune it off anyway. Okay, I've got my 3 nice cuttings, so we are going to hit the road and head home so that we can put these in some rooting hormone and pot them up, and I can talk through what I'm going to be doing for the rest of winter until spring to make sure these guys root. I'm in my kitchen now, not even out of my greenhouse because it is cold, cold, cold today. It's like 10 degrees here. We are going through a super cold snap. So I'm gonna be potting up these blueberry cuttings here in my kitchen. Here is a refresher of what they look like. So you can see they have plenty of growth points up and down them so that when I plant them, there will be enough below the surface of the soil to get some good rooting going. First, I'm gonna start off with putting some rooting hormone on them. And since I don't like to dip my cuttings into my container of rooting hormone and just potentially like contaminate it for future cuttings, I like to dump a little bit here on a wet paper towel and then just take whatever cutting I'm putting the rooting hormone on and kind of roll it around on the paper towel like that. The wetness helps to ensure that it is sticking to the cutting enough, and it just helps me get nice overall coverage. Next, I'm just going to take a little pot of pre-wetted well-draining soil. So this is fresh well-draining soil and I've just completely soaked it. So I'm just going to stick this cutting all the way down in until it hits the bottom of the pot and then gently pack in around it. So what I'm gonna do here to save space as well is put all of the cuttings of the same kind into one container just to keep them organized. I've got these 2 cuttings in here and I've kind of packed down the soil a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more in here to make sure I have as deep of soil as I can get. And then I'm going to give these another little quick watering. And here's a look at all of my cuttings potted up. I've got 2 cuttings of one type in here, the super big kind. I somehow dropped a cutting on the way to my car, which is very sad, but I still have 2, which is good. And then I ended up taking 3 more cuttings from another variety of a bush that I know I like to pick on every summer. So we've got 5 total cuttings here to root. As for what I'm going to be doing with these cuttings until it gets warmer outside, I'm gonna put them in with some of my super early season seed starts. So I have quite a few different like growing operations going on right now for my seeds and propagations and whatnot. This is just one of them behind me. It has some of my onions, some of my early kale starts in it. I'm gonna put the blueberries in here just where I have a little bit of extra space. And these are already watered, so they're ready to go. Now, this is obviously in a heated area because my greenhouse is not heated at this time of year. So I'm gonna put these cuttings in here. The temperature in here right now is 69.7 because I don't have a heat mat on this level. I have heat mats on these 2 levels, so when I zip this up, it gets nice and toasty in here, even on levels that don't have heat mats on them. When I rearrange, because things are growing and whatnot, I will probably put these directly on a heat mat because they will benefit from that rooting process speeding up being on a heat mat. But you need to put them with something warm. You need to have some light on on them this time of year, and then I will move them out to my greenhouse probably in early April when we really start to get toward our last frost date and things are getting nice and toasty during the day in there. Okay guys, that about wraps up how to take dormant hardwood cuttings of your blueberry plants to propagate during the winter. Again, it is early February in Maryland, zone 7A here, so super cold. You don't really think about plant propagation this time of year, but it is a great time to propagate hardwood cuttings from dormant plants. So I'll definitely do a follow-up video in the spring to show you guys how these are doing, and until then, happy planting.